Having defeated Jonas Knee and Panda Warrior, AggonyDuck has shown himself to be a top contender and to have decisively defended his place in the Invitational Tournament. He's coming up against Balor of Agartha, another top tier player. Balor of Agartha is commanding Rome, while AggonyDuck is commanding Tylis. The map is Nemetusena. Tylis is more than a match for Rome, although Rome has the ability to bring a massive amount of cost-effective swords, so does Tylis. And Tylis has an ace in the form of the raiding horsemen that are able to deal with both elephants and cavalry effectively and then go for rear charges and skirmishers. For AggonyDuck, we have 3 Celtic warriors, an Oathsworn strategist general, we have 3 Thracian warriors, 1 unit of noble horse, 6 tribals, and 3 Celtic slingers. You won't see a lot of people bring the Celtic slingers, but if there are elephants on the field, they can be a nice addition for some long-range firepower against them. Balor brought 6 Hastati. In the center, he has on his right flank, he has 3 veteran legionaries. In his center, he has legionaries, legionary cohort, and veteran legionaries. Only 3 equites and the legatus. So a massive sword spam from Rome on Nemetusena. Usually, barbarian factions with a high charge bonus are going to do great against Rome on Nemetusena. They're going to be able to wreck the Roman infantry on the charge. Celtic warriors are going to be able to beat the Hastati. AggonyDuck does not want to engage this Roman army head on and be surrounded, so it's going to keep moving towards the Roman right flank. And one important thing to note about moving towards the right flank. Moving towards the right flank means that when Duck's forces are engaging, they're going to be engaging into the unshielded side of Rome, while Rome is going to be engaging into the shielded side of Tylis. So when this happens, it might actually be a better idea to turn the opposite way from what your opponent does, to stop yourself from being outflanked on the unshielded side. But Balor has such a wide formation that it's going to be almost impossible for for AggonyDuck to get around his formation. Celtic slingers are starting to pour some fire into the veteran legionaries to do a bit of damage. Hastati moving in to push them away. The raiding horse being posted way in the rear of the Roman army. He could go for sniping the legatus here. And a lot of people will say, well, it doesn't matter if you kill the Roman general because the troops are disciplined. And discipline only protects them from the immediate effects of having the general killed. It does not protect them from the permanent effects of having the general killed. And the general not being able to use... The general here is a warrior general, so he has both Intimidate and Warcry. And with that, he will be able to stop the Oathsworn general of Tylis to use his Second Wind and Battle Rhythm and Headhunt. Potentially massive. The Astati are pushing up, trying to push away the Celtic warriors. Nicely done here. Moving the equites around on the flanks. I think the raiding horse were a bit mismicroed from Duck, because they are too far away. They should have been able to get shots off on the legatus now. Duck is wisely pulling back. He does not want to be engaged on the flanks while he has a weaker force there. Ideally, he wants to use his Celtic slingers for as long as possible and do damage to the mainline Roman infantry. The equites did not get a charge here. They just sort of ran into the Celtic warriors, so a bit of miss-micro there for Balor. But he managed to pull out his equites and not take much damage. The Hastati being used to screen away the raiding horsemen quite nicely. And this is good for Duck, because this means that there will be less Roman infantry to fight in the front. Javelins took out quite a few equites, but now it looks like the Celtic warriors are going to get a rear charge. Nope. Duck turns them around, throws javelins again, massacring the equites. Nice redirect from the Noble Horse. The Noble Horse smashing into unbraced Astarte. And the Astarte are going to take so much damage from this charge. The problem is that the infantry of Duck was not close enough to be able to capitalize on the great charge that he got with his Noble Horse there. That could have been devastating if he had his Celtic warriors closer. The Noble Horse pull out. The Celtic warriors move in a bit too late, because the Noble Horse are already taking casualties. The Celtic warriors are doing quite a bit of damage with their javelins and then getting nice flanking charges on the Hastati. But this means that they are open for getting flanked themselves from the Equites, the Legatus, and from the other unit of Equites. The Raiding Horse should be able to deal with this unit of Equites fairly effectively. We have the first unit of Hastati starting to waver. And this is where AggonyDuck makes a game-ending mistake. His Oathsworn General is too far away from the rest of his tribal warriors. He is doing very nice rotations with his troops, pushing his tribal warriors up, pushing his Oathsworn back. But now look at where he's giving his orders. His Oathsworn are running. They don't have attack orders. They are running alone up against the Roman infantry. Now they have attack orders, but the tribal warriors are not following after. And this means that the Oathsworn General of Tylis is just going to be kited away here. Attacked in the flank. Massively well done here by Balor. And now the Oathsworn General is going to get surrounded. He's not going to be able to use his battle rhythm and his headhunt. And this mistake by AggonyDuck is game ending. He was doing great in this engagement, taking out Astarte, not losing a lot of troops himself, but having the Oathsworn get surrounded by 3 units of legionaries, veteran legionaries like this, is going to kill them so quickly. The tribal warriors are pouring in to save the general, but it's just too late. Now we have an Intimidate coming in and a war cry, so the morale of the Oathsworn is only 50 now. He won't be able to use Headhunt to stay in the fight. His morale is already in the red. It's just getting destroyed by these legionary troops. And the tribal warriors did not get in time to save him. Here we have 2 tribals up against 3 units of legionaries. The legionaries should do well in that engagement. The rest of the Tylian army is too far back to be able to do much. Another unit of Astarte going down. Mismarkering by AggonyDuck in allowing his Raiding Horse to get caught by Equites and Hastati. His Noble Horse is running around the flanks, but AggonyDuck has lost his general, and losing his general has lost him the battle, because now his tribal warriors have a hefty morale penalty, and at this point it does not look like AggonyDuck has the troops left to grind out the long game against these legionary troops. He manages to take out legionaries fairly effectively, but Balor having his cavalry left is going to mean that Balor is going to be able to do this all day. Rear charges, chase away the skirmishers. The Celtic skirmishers are shaken from having lost the general. And there's just so much Rome left on the battlefield. The Celtic slingers are probably going to rout from being attacked here in the rear by these Hastati units. Tribal warriors starting to waver, Noble Horse starting to waver, and getting the general killed like this is... Tylis can't recover from that because of the low morale of the tribal warriors. So that one engagement lost AggonyDuck the game, I think. Just fast forwarding here, we have rear charges coming in from all sides from the Romans. They're able to pile in their legionaries, surround the tribal warriors, defeat them. Thracian warriors are coming into towards the center, and they're going to do massive damage to the veteran legionaries and the legionary cohort in a rear charge role. Just look at the kills rising for the Celtic Thracian warriors. AggonyDuck has made impressive use of his Thracian warriors in this series, and I quite like him using his. I quite like to see him using his Thracian warriors like this. It shows how devastating they can be in the late game if they are kept away from enemy missiles, and if they're able to do their thing with getting massive charges and fighting against enemy troops that are not able to fight back effectively, like if you rear charge. A unit of veteran legionaries being destroyed here by tribal warriors. But overall, too much Rome left on the field. Legatus charging in against the Thracian warriors, getting charged himself by raiding horse. The Thracian warriors do not like getting rear charged by cavalry. They will destroy cavalry if they're able to engage into a cavalry blob. But if they get the enemy's mass against them and get knocked down, they're going to do very poorly indeed. Their morale also isn't stellar. The raiding horse are being destroyed from being engaged by the Roman legionaries and the Roman cavalry. There's nothing to stop the Roman cavalry from getting rear charges against the tribal warriors and breaking them. The thing about tribal warriors is that you don't really need to kill them, because that takes too long. But just engaging them and going for rear charges is in many cases enough. If you've taken care of the enemy general, that is going to be enough to destroy the tribal warriors very easily because of their low morale. Compared to a unit like sword followers, the tribal warriors only have 55 morale. So their great health and their great armor isn't going to help them from just routing from the field when things start to turn in their favor. The last unit of Thracian warriors is going down. Got some really nice kills on it. Now there are only Celtic slingers left on the field. They should be able to deal with these veteran legionaries. But they're starting to waver because the army is losing, and that's it. Balor defeats AggonyDuck in their first battle in the finals. So tribals do okay, but the devastating loss of the Oathsworn general that wasn't able to do much meant that this battle was basically unwinnable for Tylis. If you look at the kills on the veteran legionaries did well, the legionary cohorts do okay. The Astati were absolutely destroyed. If AggonyDuck hadn't made that single mistake with his Oathsworn general, then this battle would have gone to Tylis, no contest. So we're moving on to the next battle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield. And by the way, this is a best of 5.